Refugee is a term widely used across the world to define people leaving their country due to violence or political issues.
A Syrian refugee.
A Syrian refugee.
But has the term been stretched out? Over 65 million refugees have been forced to leave their country. How can we solve this world issue? Many politicians talk about resolving this issue, but never pursue their ideas. What are some ways that we can help solve this global issue? Paths that refugee takes are often illegal and cross oceans or rivers. Terror troops are also commonly found among the known roads taken. Governments have put funds towards support groups that help aid the refugees, but they are not helping the underlying issue, that there isn't any officiated government paths. Another issue is the bad media reputation that they are getting. This is due to the location where they are coming from. Countries are afraid of the Middle East and don't want a cumulative amount of people coming in. Our future president even agrees that this shouldn't be allowed in our country. States such as Michigan vow to ban refugees due to their reputation. What's even worse is what they go through once they arrive at the camps. Many go through inhumane events before they get into the country. They have to live in small tents that are stationed outside the country. Many report robberies, bug infestation, and even worse, murder. The abundant amount of people leads to food being scarce. Governments should prosecute trafficking gangs who exploit refugees and migrants, and put people's safety above everything else. These gangs rob and murder victims who cannot pay ransom. The biggest issue within the refugee crisis is the safety of the refugees who are fleeing their country. The current solution that governments are doing is that they're taking a massive amount of refugees and donate to companies that help aid refugees that are in need of support. The countries that are taking in the refugees are also in need. There needs to be a balance from the amount of refugees that each country takes.
Estimated 9.5 million Syrians have been forced to flee their homes. Over 3 million of those have fled the country. The UN estimates that by the end of this year, as many as 4 million Syrians could be living abroad as refugees have crossed into neighboring countries, the majority of whom fled to Lebanon and Turkey. Although Jordan, Iraq, Egypt, and other North African countries also have a sizable number.
How can you help? The easiest way to help is to donate. Donations allow governments to pay workers and supply food to refugees. Donating will help us get one step closer to solve the refugee problem.